morning. It's chilly, winter. It's a good time to make some waffles. They're going to be whole food plant-based, and I'm going to it's morning right now, so I'm going to be making these for breakfast. So I'm going to make them, I don't like sweet stuff like for breakfast. Like I'm going to put berries on them and maybe a little maple syrup, but I'm not going to make the waffles themselves sweet, just the toppings will be sweet pretty much. But I will show you a separate kind of recipe where you can add like dates and walnuts ground up to make a sweeter, kind of nicer texture waffle. But right now I'm just gonna make one that's I think it's like 3 ingredients, and but it's gonna be a good waffle. So yeah. Anyway, let's make it. All right. So this is what we need to make our waffles. You need a cup of rolled oats, and I'm going to blend these into an oat flour. You need 3/4 of a cup of soy milk. You could use water or any kind of plant milk if you wanted. And a teaspoon of baking powder. If you want to do the sweeter version with the basically just a little more flavor, you can do 1/4 cup of dates and 1/4 cup of walnuts. And what you want to do is soak the dates in 1/4 cup of hot water for about just a few minutes to soften them up, and then throw all these ingredients into a blender and blend them up, and then mix them in with the oat flour. I'm not really looking for anything sweet this morning. I'm just gonna put some berries on my waffle. So I'm just gonna do mine kind of plain and simple. So the first thing I'll do is make my oat flour. All right, so the oat flour is here. It has arrived from the blender. And to that, just gonna add some baking soda, or baking powder, sorry. Teaspoon, and I add like a heaping teaspoon kind of. And just mix that up a little bit. And then add the soy milk. And this is the point when you would add, if you wanted the sweeter, more flavorful waffles, then you could add these 3 ingredients that have been blended up together in there. And then just mix it up. And then I'm going to let this sit once it's all mixed. The oat flour absorbs water, like a lot of water, kind of slowly. So it looks runny right now. I'm going to mix it all up and then let it sit for about 5 minutes. And that's going to let it absorb, more liquid, more the soy milk. And then it'll thicken up at that point. And while that's soaking, I'm going to turn on the waffle maker and get that heating up. And we'll make some waffles. All right, so one thing about these waffles that I don't like, that maybe you can help me, is I have not figured out a way to use a waffle maker without cooking spray, without keeping the waffles from sticking. It's like the one thing I'm really good at figuring out how to keep fat out of stuff, or oil. But yeah, and this, I know if I used coconut oil spray, it would probably be less smoky, but I didn't have any on hand, so I just used normal cooking oil, and that's why it's smoky right now. But yeah, everything's ready now. So I'm gonna add just a little over 1/2 cup of batter. Throw it on. See how that turns out. So what I usually do is wait until this ready light goes off, and then until it comes back on. And then what I'll do is I'll flip it. And when you're checking on your waffles, you want to open the waffle maker very carefully and check slowly, because if you do it too quick and the waffles aren't quite done yet, it'll split them in half, like it'll pull them apart. So the best thing to do is just try and lift the lid very slowly. I actually prefer old-fashioned waffle makers, maybe not old-fashioned, but the smaller, they're called classic waffle makers. as opposed to the Belgian waffle makers, just because I like those waffles better, like the smaller ridges in them and everything. But this is what I have, so just been using it, and it works. All right, the light came back on. I'm gonna turn this over and just check it slow here. This is where you want to be careful. All right, looks pretty good. These things work really good for getting the waffles up. It's not that big. I guess I could have used a little more batter on there. But that's all right. It's gonna be delicious. Look at that. All right, and we got enough batter for one more. So I'm just gonna make one more. Here we have it. These waffles look delicious. And look at, these things are so like, waffles are just awesome. Now I just topped these with a little bit of cinnamon and these berries. Excellent. Super excellent. And you can freeze these, and then put it in like a toaster oven to heat it back up, or just microwave it. It'll be a little softer if you microwave it, and more crispy if you toaster oven it, obviously. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and enjoy some waffles.